Hey everyone, this is Valkyrie Tarot coming at you. I am going to share with you the 10 things to work on during your separation phase. Separation sucks. Here's some alliteration for you. This is coming from me. This is not from a book. This is not from someone else's page or anything like that. So if there's any similarities to someone else, I truly do apologize, but this is coming from my own head. Things that I am personally working on during my separation, because I believe if I work through these things and if my twin flame works through these things, it will help us get through this and get into the next phase of our union, okay? Our journey, quote unquote. So this is part 4. For those of you that are following along, sorry, part five of the Twin Flame Journey series that I'm doing. Okay? Number 1, controlling your anxiety of the unknown. This is going to affect more of the Twin Flame Divine Feminine than the Divine Masculine, because the Divine Masculine doesn't want to admit that they're weak or anxious. But anxiety is a huge thing for the Divine Feminine. So again, we are the ones that are supposed to be controlling this intense emotion, because the Divine Masculine doesn't have the capacity to do it. We need to do that. And if we can't do that, it comes out as anxiety. And the unknown is fucking scary. Pardon my language. But you need to try and be okay with that. And understand that the universe has our best interest in mind, and no matter what we do, it is going to be okay. All right. Number 2, letting go of the dream of the twin flame union and focusing on the reality. Twin flame journeys and unions are not a Nicholas Sparks novel. Maybe a little bit if you are in the Notebook. I think that's the closest one that I can think of. It's also my personal favorite. Just saying. We set expectations up for how we want all of our relationships to go, whether it's with our parents, our children, our coworkers, our loved ones. We set expectations, but you need to understand that 99.9% of the time, our expectations are not the same as our loved one. So when we don't live up to the expectations of the other person, it creates confusion. And it creates disappointment, and it creates resentment. So how do we work through that? Number 1, be realistic. Meet your relationship where it's at. Don't live off in the future, like I have had tendency to do because I'm an INFJ. I admit to my faults. Live in the moment where you're at. Take each day as it is, and don't place your expectations on the other person. If you want them to understand your expectations and have that conversation, but be prepared that their expectations might not be the same as yours. Okay. Number 3, release the urge to want to fix someone or want them to fix you. I spent the majority of my life being the fixer in relationships. Sorry, my dog's barking. The funny thing is, I knew my twin flame was my twin flame because I realized I didn't want to fix her. I wanted her to fix me. And I wasn't broken. There wasn't a problem with me. I thought I was together. I was whole unto myself. However, she just brought up... Sorry, excuse me. Sorry about that. My dog's a little needy. If you watch my tarot videos, you know. Getting back to it, sorry. How I knew was that I felt like I needed to be fixed. All of a sudden, these things just rose up inside of me, which happens in twin flame unions. Things that you thought you took care of, things that you pushed away in your youth, in your childhood, that you didn't even realize were a trauma until all of a sudden everything was amplified times 10. And by amplified, I mean put under a microscope and then put up in Times Square. That's how much these little traumas, these little things that you didn't deal with as a kid, magnify in both of you, okay? So the truth is that you're not here to fix them and they are not here to fix you. You are here to fix yourself. You are here to take the universal love that you have with this union and heal yourself. Learn how to self-soothe. I am awful at it. I never had to do it. Thank you. I am so grateful to live in a lifeline where I've met my twin flame, and it is teaching me how to step into myself and step into my strength. And I didn't realize it was a problem in me until it was. And my God, I'm so grateful for what I'm going through. As painful as this journey is, I am grateful for it. Number 4, realize that your definition of patience isn't the same as your divine counterparts. Patience is a funny thing. Patience is based on our upbringing and our understanding of love and affection. How I was brought up is not the same as how my twin flame was brought up, and that's okay. I actually was drawn to that for some reason because I was absolutely amazed with how strong this woman was, with everything that she went through. And I don't know what she thought about me, but I would like to think it was the same, maybe, in my own way. But my definition of patience is one thing. It's, okay, you need space, you need time, cool, I'll talk to you in 4 days. A week is a long time, but I'll give you it if you ask for it. 2 weeks, I get itchy, and I don't understand what's going on. I start to think I did something wrong, and the overthinking starts to happen, and then 3 weeks, I lose my shit. Because 3 weeks to me is disrespectful. However, on the flip side, to someone else who learned that this distance in time is the only way to heal, is the only way that they can feel grounded, is the only way that they can take the anxiety that's in their head and make sense of it. It may not be 4 days, it may not be a week, it may not be 3 weeks, it may not even be 3 months. And that's so frustrating to the other person. Most of the time, the divine feminine doesn't understand because the divine masculine needs space and time, but they don't know how to communicate why they're doing it. Okay, so I am here to tell you all, if you are the divine masculine, as hard as it is, you need to find your words to explain to your divine feminine that this isn't about them, it's about you feeling uncomfortable and you need some space. Set a timeline to reconnect. If after that point you still need time, set another timeline. It gives the divine feminine something solid to hold on to so they don't think that it's all them. They don't feel like they did something wrong because they're usually the anxious one, okay? And it will help with that runner chaser phase because you'll have breathing room and your divine feminine will have something to hold on to be better able to control their emotions, okay? 5, learn to set, maintain, and respect your partner's boundaries. I'd like to think that I'm good at that. Unfortunately, I will be the first one to tell you that I have stepped over people's boundaries without realizing them because I didn't know that they had that boundary because it was never discussed. Awkward. I am a Scorpio. I'm an INFJ, so I am very intuitive, and it's very easy for me to see through people's bullshit. It's easy for me to see past the mask that people wear. And I have a tendency to hold a mirror up to people's faces and call them out on it. It doesn't always work too well with some people, and I apologize to anyone watching this that happened with because I am a detective by nature. I'm not actually, that's not my job, but like, it's the Scorpio side. Boundaries are there for a reason. I have my own boundaries. I have tons of them. And on the surface, I'm so open and I'm so vulnerable. And with my twin flame, I have never been more open and more vulnerable. I stripped everything down. All my armor fell to my feet. And I said, this is me. I'm a mess. Love me anyways. Ooh, God, that was scary. Especially when my twin flame wasn't ready to do the same. Okay, so again, respect other people's boundaries. Okay, I wanted so badly for my twin flame to strip all of her armor off too, but she wasn't ready yet. And forcing someone to do that just pushes them away more. So I am speaking from experience here, people. Respect boundaries. You know where they're at. Number 6, listen. Really listen. We always say the little things that we want the person to pay attention to. We're afraid to kind of outrightly say them. I am rare. I have learned how to communicate my needs, but I'm still anxious about saying certain things. But the truth is in a twin flame union, things are said. The little things are said. And I'm not talking about how you take your coffee or, oh, I only like my grilled cheese cut in diagonal, not in 4 corners. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the little things of, hey, when I'm upset, you need to give me space. Oh my God, I need space too. I'm totally one of those people as well. I hate it when people like, you know, I need space and I'm angry and people keep asking, hey, are you all right? Hey, is everything okay? Oh my God, it just makes everything worse, right? Actual conversation. I was the second part of that conversation. I heard what was said, but I didn't listen, which goes back to the last step. I will look back on my relationship with my twin flame, the first time we were together and the second time we were together. And I can remember what I said. I can remember the feeling of being with them. I can remember moments and sunsets and her eyes and the feel of her body next to mine. But I don't remember a lot of what she said, because I wouldn't shut the fuck up. Baby, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. That's all I can say. I get it now. It took all of this for me to get it. And you all get to reap the benefit of this. Number 7. Lucky number 7. Let the hurt help you grow. Hurt is the only thing, pain is the only thing that teaches us. It's the behavioralist mindset, but it's got validity. How did you learn how to ride a bike? You didn't jump on a bike and say, deuces, ma, see you later. No. You probably fell off. Not just once or twice, probably 30, 40 times until you got it right. Same thing with learning how to walk. You got up, you took a step, you fell. We don't learn without pain. That pain is something that is built into our psyche to help us grow, to teach us how to do things right. Pain, emotional pain in a twin flame journey is no different. We need to learn from it in order to get stronger, in order to grow. So then when we do reunite in this life or the next, we are ready and we don't make the same mistakes. Number 8, unconditional love is all there is. It's not about the passion. It's not about the, puppy dog eyes that you get when you're near them. It's not about that heat that you feel between your bodies. It's unconditional love. That is the only love that will get you through this. Despite the distance, despite the situation you're in, despite what was said, despite what was done. Twin flame journeys can be awful. And if your egos are in the way, you're constantly going to battle back and forth. And it's going to look toxic. And it's going to look like it's an unhealthy karmic cycle. But the truth is, with universal love, you can forgive them for doing what they've done that made you hurt. And you can forgive yourself for letting things happen to you that were out of your control. And you can forgive yourself for losing control of your emotions and feeling embarrassed or ashamed of certain things that you did or said. Universal love is the only thing that makes this world turn. And it is no different in a twin flame relationship. And you need to have that. Bless you. And you need to have that. And now you're getting greedy. Sneeze to the truth. You need to have universal love in order to get into the next stage, in order to surrender, so that when you surrender, you're ready to come back together. Okay. Number 9, know each other's triggers. The twin flame union, like I said, amplifies these little things that were inside of you. You didn't realize, you know that when someone calls you stupid, it bothers you. But when your twin flame calls you stupid, it enrages you. You know that silent treatment bothers you. You don't like being ignored because it irritates you. When your twin flame doesn't text you back, your mind goes into overdrive. Everything is amplified in a twin flame journey. Everything. Remember that billboard? Times Square. If your twin flame, or if you know your twin flame's triggers, be aware. Okay? Now, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, there's a meme out there somewhere on social media, and it says, I'm not responsible for your triggers, or whatever. I don't have to walk on eggshells around you. You're responsible for your anxiety. It's got some saying, I don't know. It's both true and false. The truth is, yes, I'm responsible for my anxiety. As an anxious person, I admit my anxiety is gross. It is ugly to the rest of society, but it is me and it is my emotion, and you don't have a right to judge me for my emotions, especially if you don't know what I'm going through. But here's the catalyst. If I tell you what my triggers are, and you are someone who is very close to me, a coworker, a family member, a loved one, like a twin flame, if I tell you what my triggers are and you choose to ignore them time and time again and set me off and then get mad at me because I am anxious or upset, you gotta take responsibility for your own actions. You have to. You got to realize that when you are in a union, it's not about you. It's not about them. It's about the energy between the two of you. And if you bring a low vibration in and drop your twin flame, you're going to drop. This is where that universal love comes in. You need to be aware of certain things that trigger your twin flame and try and stay ahead of them. And when you realize that your twin flame has triggered you and you're upset and you're angry and you just want to lash out and you want to hurt them, you got to rise above and rise up with them. Universal love is the only healing that there is. It's the forgiveness that you need to give to the other person and yourself. But you need to be aware of your own triggers in order to communicate that to your twin flame, okay? And your twin flame, please, please, please out there, don't be so stubborn. Yes, I am responsible for my emotions. You are responsible for your emotions, but dear God, please, you got to take responsibility for your part in this union, okay? You can't drive a car down the road and hit a pothole when there's signs, hey, pothole in the road, and then get mad at the road for giving you a flat tire. You can't do that, okay? Am I right? So just keep that in mind. Number 10, final one. Don't take your partner's discontent as a personal attack on your self-esteem. This is a hard one. It's really hard. It's hard for me. It's hard for a lot of people I know because we want to validate who we are in our loved ones' eyes. But the truth is, a lot of times things that are done and said, especially triggers or emotions, emotional scars from youth or past lives, it's not about us. But we have a tendency to take our frustrations out on the ones that we love the most because we know they're not going anywhere until they do. Until you're in separation and you don't know what to do. So just be aware that things are going to happen, things are going to be done and said, and someone might pull away. and get distant. And you got to realize it's not about you. It's about something that you might have said that triggered something in them, but it's not about you. It's about them, and they need to work through that. Okay? And likewise, sometimes what you do, how you act directly is reciprocated in your loved one, because in twin flames, we are mirrors of each other. You got to remember that. So if one person does one thing, the other person's going to do something similar. And what we can't stand is when we see our own weakness in someone else. It is the hardest thing for us to do, is to love our weakness in someone else. But that's that universal love I was talking about. And that is loving ourselves first. Because if you love yourself, your self-worth is always going to be up there, no matter what. It's the end of my list. Hopefully this resonated with some of you out there. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe. If you got an idea for another video, comment below, because I'm all ears. I'm kind of just going off what the universe is telling me and my intuition here. So until then, deuces.